guys, so you guys have this foldable. There are paper copies of this at the school in the packet for this week, and you can also print it out. So I'm going to go ahead and fill it out. I think you should fill it out before you fold it, so we'll start out filling it out. So this is the outside. Don't have to do anything on that part, but we can go ahead and do this one. Okay? So in the top left corner, they have 3 sides. Oops, see if I can write. 3 sides of one triangle and congruent to 3 sides of the other triangle, then the triangle is congruent. So if you have the 2 triangles sides match up like this, then the 2 triangles are congruent. Okay, so if 2 sides of the triangles and the included angle, so the angle in between those 2 sides, are congruent to the 2 sides and the included angle on another triangle. So the sides of these triangles match up like this, so these 2 are the same and these 2 are the same, and the angle in between them is the same. If you have that, then it means that those triangles are congruent. Okay? If you have 2 angles the same on the 2 triangles that match up like that, okay, and the side in between them, so if you have 2 angles matching up on the 2 triangles like that, and then the side in between them the same, that means that the triangles are congruent to one another. Okay? If 2 angles and the non-included side, so you have 2 angles the same, okay, and a side that's not in between them, and it has to be a corresponding side. So the way this looks, you can see that it has to be coming off of the same angle. So if we have D being the same as A and F being the same as B, so those angles are the same, if the side that matches the one on the other triangle, they have to come off of the same angle. So this one has 1 tick mark, this one has 1 tick mark. So if that side was the same as this side, that wouldn't be enough to show that these 2 are congruent. It has to be coming off the same side. This will make a little more sense in a second. And then this one, only with right triangles. Okay? Only works with right triangles. But if you have the hypotenuse, okay, so that's the long side across from the right angle. Okay, so across from the right angle is the same on both triangles. Okay, and then you have a leg that matches up. So you just have to have a right triangle, the hypotenuse has to be the same, and then one of the other sides has to be the same. Then the triangles are the same. Okay? And then lastly, if we're looking at this bottom corner, we're going to go and write AAA and SSA, because these are 2 rules that don't work. Angle, 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 and side, side, angle do not prove 2 triangles congruent. You cannot use these. These do not work. Okay? They do not work. So now that we've filled it out, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to fold it and how to use it. Alright, now to put this foldable together, you got it filled out, you know, you're going to take it, we're going to start by folding it, okay? We're going to fold it on the lines here, except the way I'm doing it to make sure it's lined up, let me make sure you can see what I'm doing. And to make sure it's lined up, instead of folding it on this line necessarily, I'm making sure it's hitting the middle line. Give me a second, I'll do it and then I'll show you what I meant. So I'm making sure it's hitting the middle line. So making sure when I fold it in, it's hitting this line, so it goes toward the center, because if I would have folded on the line, there'd been a little gap. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to crease it, make sure it's going to stay, because we don't use this fill bag. Okay, and the same with the other side. Fold it right in to meet the other one, so you're going to fold all the way in so that it meets the other flap. Okay, so now you got this. Okay, beautiful. Write your name on the back. Make sure you don't lose it. You're good. Okay, so now we're gonna take our scissors. Okay, if you're doing this at school, I will have scissors out. Okay, and we're going to cut each one. So like, let me turn around so you can see a little better. So we're gonna cut each one like this, making sure we're not cutting the letters. We're cutting on the one just to the fold. Okay, so we're only cutting to the fold so that you have little flaps like this that you can pull out. Okay, and you do the same with the other side. Again, you cut along the line, make sure you're not cutting any words. Okay, and you only cut up into the fold. Okay, so you should have this once you're done. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick little kind of once over of how to actually use it. So you're given 2 triangles, okay? You're looking at 2 different triangles. Whenever you do it, you're going to look at your foldable, and you're gonna, first off, look at the triangles that you're given. Sorry, I know I've said that 12 times. You're gonna look at the triangles, and you're going to write down what's marked. So you have 2 angles congruent, so you have an angle congruent, a side congruent, and you have an angle congruent. So you have 2 angles and a side, okay? You say, okay, which one of these has 2 angles and a side? This one does, and this one does. Okay, let's see if it's this one. You say, do you have 2 angles and then the side that's not between them like this? If not, then you say it's not that one. And you go and check this one, okay? Do you have 2 sides with an angle, or 2 angles with a side in between them like this? If so, then it's that, okay? If not, then you can say none. But you've got 2 angles and a side, so it's gonna go to these 2 or none. Okay, and if it's this one, you say the triangles are congruent by AAS, or you just write AAS if it's one of those that it says these are congruent. How do you know? You write AAS or ASA, okay? Say you have a triangle and you have 2 sides and an angle. Well, then most likely it's going to be SAS because that's the only one on here with 2 sides and an angle. So you open it up, you say, well, do you have 2 sides and then the angle in between it? If so, then you say, well, these 2 triangles are congruent by SAS, okay? And then you have a right triangle, and you say, well, let's look at this one because it's the only one dealing with right triangles. You know, do we have the hypotenuse, so the one right across from the right angle, the longest one? And do we have one of the legs the same? If so, then by HL, or hypotenuse leg, these triangles are congruent, okay? Do not ever, sorry about the bell, do not ever use these as a reason. AAA and SSA do not prove that a triangle is congruent. So do not write those as a reason. But you're gonna have a worksheet where it's just a bunch of pairs of triangles, and you have to use this to determine which one of these shows that they're congruent. Okay, so just look at it and see which one matches. So let me know if you guys have any questions with that, and I will see you guys later.